Hey everybody, Psychosaurus is here, and today, well, you might have noticed the latest developer blog that has happened on the forums. And yeah, I think I should make a reaction to this. This might be somewhat interesting. So if you don't know, this one has been released on the 1st of April 2022. And yeah, I would say a lot of these things mentioned here should tell you just that that ain't happening. But what I need to point out is there's been the same thing that happened last year, and some of these things actually have turned out to be true. So if we take a look at the last year, we know the Indians are actually happening, but not the other two saves that were mentioned here. Definitely not the mythic items. But we definitely got the icons for the legendary items, so we could recognize them a lot more easily. And then we also got some promised features that are still not in the game, like the dismantler and the items epic exchange, but I believe it's still planned and it should be still happening. Who knows, maybe it just there's a lot of other things before these are happening, like the Indian Civ. And so we're gonna take a look at this blog and see if there could be anything happening with this, or maybe there might be something else about it. So let's read through this. So yeah, what do we got here? So blog content, advisor upgrades, advisor units for Babylonians, Norse and Romans, new in-game currency, Celeste points, new capital city feature, view inventory. Okay, so hello there, Celeste players, blah blah blah, we've been busy, yeah. So advisor upgrades, what is this about? Advisors let you adapt your civilization to your preferred playstyle and tailor your gameplay experience to your liking. With tons of different advisors already existing in the game, we thought that now would be the perfect opportunity to let players further enhance their advisor loadouts by introducing advisor upgrades. This feature allows you to upgrade your existing advisors for even bigger and better effects. Yeah, so let's move on. There are two types of advisor upgrades available, one for legendary advisors and one for non-legendary ones. For legendary advisors, collect the original legendary variant of the advisor, then visit Marcus Pollux in your capital city to turn the advisor to its upgraded version. Yeah, so legendary, get the legendary variant of the advisor, visit Marcus Pollux. Get the upgrade. Okay, for non-legendary advisor, collect all 4 variants of the advisor: common, uncommon, rare and epic. Then visit Marcus Pollux in your capital city to turn the advisor to its upgraded version. Yeah, so yeah, all 4 variants. Note you need to pay Empire points, Celeste points, details below, and coin to upgrade your advisors for both legendary and non-legendary advisors. We'll be showcasing the details of every upgraded advisor in a future blog, but here are 3 of them as a quick sneak peek. So let's take a look. Advisor upgrades, King Theod, that is one. Berserker King Theod replaces Berserkers with Frenzied Berserkers that deal damage in an area of 6 but lose 10% of their current health with every attack. Okay, and there's the price, which is a lot. So if this would be a thing, this is definitely a late game thing, because 1000 Empire points and 500,000 coins, that's just quite a big fortune. So definitely a thing to happen for someone who's been playing for a while. But why do I think this is not happening already here? It's this thing, but lose 10% of the current health with every attack. I don't think there are any effects that would affect the attacking unit on attack. There is nothing. Like, you affect the target that is being attacked, like let's say the damage over time. such as poison. But you don't have anything that would affect your unit. I'm not saying it could be that it would be impossible to implement. I don't know if the engine the devs are using or the game is using would allow you to do this. If this would be possible, then something like lifesteal would probably be also possible. But we don't have lifesteal, okay? So this thing is definitely not happening. And Berserkers with having 6 splash area, it's just it's just huge area. Okay. Imagine a lot of units in front of you, your Berserkers swing and they hit everything. No, no, not happening. And then lose 10% of the current health. So yeah, the first hit would hurt, then it would slow down slowly, it would still hurt. And remember, Berserkers have a lot of health. So losing like 10% kinda hurt. And lose you some toughness. Definitely not happening. Could it be possible? I don't know. But I don't think this one is happening. Okay, this one was really funny. Immortal Commander Esfandia. All immortals existing in your army now share the same health bar, meaning that your immortals will only die if every single one of them reaches 0 hit points. So my question would be, does it mean that if I keep one immortal somewhere in the back outside of the combat, like far away from the combat, does it mean my army never dies? And that already tells you this is nonsense, because then you could just go full damage immortals, who cares about health, just full damage, and then you just keep one immortal somewhere in the back, they never die, they just do a lot of damage. So already it's telling me, nah, not happening. Okay, this is a nonsense. And another thing, I don't even know if the engine would allow you to do something like this, where the units are sharing the health bar and this unit cannot die while this is alive. Nah, I don't think this is a thing. I don't think this is a thing at all, okay? Not happening, okay? It would be too silly, okay? So let's move on to the third one and look at the price also. This is so much greater than the Epic Advisor upgrade. Okay, Alexander the Greatest. Toxotai and Peltas can be upgraded 3 additional times, further increasing their health and damage. Toxotai cause 0 population. So number 1, Toxotai costing 0 population is already a nonsense, okay? Then you would have just infinite army and no, not happening. And I also feel like the 3 additional times, this is kinda reference to like the first version of the game, or like the first versions, where you had like the old tech tree and you would have multiple upgrades for some of your units. So if you would upgrade your spearman, you would start with something like veteran, then would be like champion master, so there would be like 5 upgrades for your spearman before you would reach the champion. So I feel like this is some kind of reference to that. So definitely not happening, okay? It's been changed from that. Could it be possible? Definitely. Yeah, but is this gonna happen? Who knows? But definitely not 0 pop Toxotes. No. That would be just too much. Toxotes already being one of the highest DPS ranged units with Alexander, as Alexander already is. No. 0 pop unit like that? No. That would be way too strong, if you ask me. Expensive? Maybe. Strong? Definitely. Okay, moving on. Advisor units for Romans, Babylonians, and Norse. Being the only civilizations in the game without any advisor units of their own, It's now time for us to introduce new advisor units for these civilizations. Details below. Well, it's almost 50%, okay? Almost 50% of the cities don't have advisor units. And as the Indians will be added, it will be 50%, okay? But there are some common advisor units. It's just they don't have their civ specific ones. But anyway, we got the Roman advisor units: Gladiator, Veles, Praetorian Guard. So the description here says Veles, all around ranged unit, H3, trained in the fortress, obviously. So all around ranged unit, okay. I feel like there are already few advisor units giving you all around ranged units. So nothing unusual about that. Gladiator, anti-infantry infantry unit, H3. So I guess this would be like, if this would be added, it would be something like a legionary, but maybe more focused on the damage rather than the armor, who knows. And then Praetorian Guard, anti-ranged infantry unit, H4, trained in the fortress. Okay, anti-ranged infantry unit, I guess that's this one. I don't know what to think about it. It looks like, if I had to guess, it would be either it's well armored against pierce damage, or it would be something like a Volt Raider with fast movement speed, good damage against ranged units. Now, you might, I know they have like this screenshot of the units, but these units might have been from the previous devs, because if you don't know, Romans already had some kind of concept long before, during the Microsoft days. So they might have already had some of these units somewhat done, maybe not completed. So that's one thing that makes me skeptical that this could be happening. Second thing is, devs already said they don't really want to touch the advisor units, and they don't really want to make advisor units, because advisor units are being used only during leveling up and then pretty much almost never being touched. So that's another thing that makes me skeptical about this block segment. And yeah, like, is this possible to have another advisor units? I mean, it's possible. Are they gonna happen? Most likely not. And also notice, you have the fifth model here, which is already telling me, yeah, most likely it's not gonna happen, because advisor units, as you all know, they have only 4 rarities, right? You have the common, uncommon, rare, and epic. So why would there be a fifth one? A fifth model? Maybe it's a follow-up to this one. That could be possible, but as I already said, I don't think any of these are happening, okay? I don't think any of these are happening. So it already sounds silly to have like another fifth model. So possibility, yes. Is it gonna happen? I don't think so. Maybe the devs will surprise me. Maybe they will actually make advisor units, but I don't think these are happening. These might be just from the past, okay? So I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, the Babylonian one. We got the Pikeman, and I'm already gonna say this unit is just a copy of the Greek phalanx. Upgraded version of the Spearman, moves slower than a Spearman, but has more melee attack range, does more damage to cavalry, and has much higher snare, H3. But that's pretty much perfect description for phalanx if we compare it to the Babylonian Spearman, okay? Oops. So, moves slower, that's true. Phalanx has lower movement speed, starts at 4.5, so already that's true for the Phalanx. Has more melee attack range. Yes, that Phalanx was the first one to have that. Does more damage to cavalry, while in comparison to the Babylonian Spearman, which already has only 2.5 times against cavalry, the Phalanx has 3 times, so that's true as well. Has much higher snare. I'm not really sure about this one. I don't remember if Phalanx actually has any snare, so I'm not sure about this one. H3, yeah, that's Phalanx again. So only the snare is like being added here. But like I said, this is just a copy of a Phalanx. Why would you make a copy of another? Otherwise, it's not happening. Okay. Accountant. Garrisons in markets to generate gold, reduce caravan training time, reduce exchange rate and tribute penalties, and increase market health. H4. I feel like when I take a look at this unit, I'm like, are you replacing caravans? Because like garrisons in markets to generate gold, so some kind of gold generator, I guess depends how much gold it would generate. But it already sounds like a unit that would replace caravan. Reduce caravan training time, that's kinda not necessary because as Babylonians you already have the gardens that already lower the training time of every single unit. So this is kinda like, who cares? Reduce exchange rates. I'm not gonna go into too much details about this one, but all I'm gonna say, this will mean that you generate more gold by selling your other resources and don't have to spend that much gold when buying the resources. So I would guess depends on the numbers here and how exactly it would work well with already the other 2 texts in the game. But this would just mean, hey, I can generate too much gold. So this thing already tells me this is not happening, okay? Tribute penalties. I mean, at some point you would be paying less than you are actually sending. Maybe that could be possible. Who knows? Probably not. Probably there would be a limit. Maybe not. But yeah, like getting close to 0 would be really good, yeah. And increase market health. Who cares? Yeah, I'm gonna say this one would be probably too strong because of this, but maybe I'm wrong about it. I would have to see the numbers, okay? I feel like this would be just an alternative to caravans in H4. Losing something like Nebuchadnezzar in H4 to get some free gold, I guess that could work somehow. Too well. Yeah, I feel like it's hard to tell whether this would be a good thing, but just with this, it tells me the devs would need to make markets garrisonable, and markets are not garrisonable so already. So this thing is just nah. It would be just making additional work of making markets garrisonable than telling this unit is the only one that can garrison the market. It just sounds like way too much work to do. Lion Tamer. This one I'm more like, why? Okay. Deals high damage versus huntables. Just why? And Roman Primus Pilus. I mean, why countering only a single unit? I mean, it makes sense. Do you really think PF2K would allow this unit to counter Primus Pilus to exist in the game? Specifically just to counter Primus Pilus? Nah. Believe me, nah. And seriously, who would even use this unit? Against huntables? H3? No. Okay, uses long range whip to snare its enemies. For snare it could be interesting, but just against huntables, Roman Pirus, and then it's just snaring units. You know, snare is not really that great in PvE, so it already tells me this unit is just why. Okay, so definitely not happening. Horse. A horse without a rider. High speed, high snare, used to catch retreating enemies, cause 0 population but has a build limit of 40 H4 trained in the fortress. Yeah. That's just a copy of a war dog. And that's all there is about the horse. Making a copy of a war dog for Babylonians. Just why? Why? Also, I just thought of something, but this would make really good sense for Babylonians. Not because of the unit, but because you could garrison it inside siege towers, and since it costs 0 pop. Yeah, that would be way too good. Not happening, okay? Definitely not happening. Okay, the Norse one. Scout cavalry moves faster than all other scouts, has more line of sight, regenerates health, and can build fortresses, barracks, and watch posts. H3. Okay, I'm asking this one first. Why would there be a unit on a horse for Norse that actually builds buildings? This would make the only unit for Norse that is riding something and is actually building something. So that already tells me not happening. Okay, it's just why? Would it be possible? Maybe, but why would you add another scout? Like, who would want to train scouts this late? Like, it would make sense when being used as a tank unit, since scouts don't really take any bonus damage from enemy units. It might make them a good tank unit, but I'm like, with the health regen, it would make sense. Plus, they are faster than all other scouts, so you can just get behind, build some fortresses to train more scouts. Yeah, I don't know about this, but there might be some really weird shenanigans happening with this unit. So I'm just gonna say not happening, but it might be interesting to see what this unit could do. Okay. Mooseman, melee anti-siege siege unit, fast, cheap, effective versus other siege, cannot attack buildings or non-siege units, H3. Okay, I'm not saying this couldn't be happening, like having a siege that is specialized against other siege, but I'm asking how do you tell it to attack the siege specifically and not anything else? Like I could see like not attacking buildings. How do you tell it to attack no other unit? That's my only question. Not saying it's impossible, I just feel like we don't have anything like that, so that would be a completely new mechanic, okay? And second, why would you even want a unit that is just against siege? How often do you actually see siege during like level up quests? That's my big question. Like, how often do you actually see siege when you're playing, let's say, Argus quest, you're playing Cyprus quest? Like, yeah, there is some siege, but are you just gonna grab this one unit because there's like one catapult? I don't think so. Okay, so it could be interesting, but I don't think this unit could ever happen. Okay, at least not like this. Like, cannot attack buildings or other non-siege units. It already tells me like, nah, not happening. That unit would be a huge waste of effort if you ask me. So could happen, but not in this form. Valkyrie, anti-cavalry and infantry unit, uses both a sword and a spear while wielding a shield, depending on the enemy type. Sword for infantry and ranged, spear for cavalry, priests, villagers, and siege. Expensive, slow moving, H4. My question is, what is it using against buildings then? That's what I'm not seeing here. And second, what is it using against ships? I just realized I don't see that either. Yeah, I guess against ships it would make sense to use the spear, right? Make the hole. But against buildings, yeah, that's one thing. Second thing, just like I've mentioned with the Mooseman, how do you tell it to attack specifically infantry and ranged with this attack specifically, and the rest with the spear? I'm not saying it's impossible because we already have like specific attacks against buildings, like with sappers. Okay, sappers are using their rams against buildings, whereas against units they are using whatever that is, pickaxe and hammer. I don't know what exactly they're wielding there. It's so small. Can barely tell what it is. Look, can barely tell what it is. So yeah, like I would get it describing like how to use which attack to use against buildings, but against specific unit type, I'm a little bit skeptical. Okay, because that would mean like yeah, you need to like eh, I wouldn't say impossible. I need to ask, is it possible in the current game? Yeah. Definitely not a unit that couldn't exist, but it's just, I don't think it's gonna happen. And seriously, why would you even make two different attacks against different unit types? That's another thing. Why would you even do that? That doesn't make sense to me. You could just make two Valkyries, one with sword, one with spear. And that could be just fine, okay? New in-game currency is Celeste points. Okay, so we're getting to the new in-game currency. As the third global in-game currency, Celeste points are the ultimate endgame for veteran players. How to earn Celeste points? Unlocked only once level 40, players can earn Celeste points by playing Sparta PvP or Champion Mode quests, solo only. Where to use Celeste points? Initially, we are using Celeste points to let players use the Spartan Forge to guarantee max stats on their items and also remove the untradeable attribute from them. Check the next graphic for details. Alternatively, players can visit Tarsos to exchange 100,000 coins or 1,000 Empire points for 10 Celeste points, although the level 40 requirement still applies. Okay, so one thing that makes me that I want to ask, how much would I earn by playing the Sparta PvP or the Champion Mode quest? Because if I'm paying this amount of coins or Empire points to get 10 Celeste points, how much would I earn here? Because then it would be like, what's the point of the Tarsus one? So definitely the Tarsus part just doesn't make sense, okay? It would have to be much cheaper than that. Or maybe you just need to earn very little from these quests, but then you saw it. You need 900, 500 here. What's the point? Like, this would be way, way, way long grind to get these points, okay? It already feels like it. Is it impossible? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying, why would you make it so hard to earn? Okay. Yeah, so there will be like some kind of capital UI next to coins. I feel like the coins should be first, then the Celeste points, but okay. Okay, Celeste points to guarantee max stats in the Spartan Forge. Switch between Empire points and Celeste points. Now, I feel like it would be nice to have a way to get maxed items in the Spartan Forge, because obviously we want all those items to be maxed out. But I feel like if you, what's the point then of like farming the chest, right? Because like at the end you're just gonna farm the Celeste points, but that means you wanna play mainly PvP or the champion mode quests. But if you're playing those, what's the point of gear then? You don't need gear for those, okay? And that's where I feel like, yeah, definitely not this part happening, okay? And definitely like it would be possible like to make it just through the champion mode quests and Sparta PvP. But I feel like making this is definitely not happening, okay? Definitely not this one, because then like who would have even who would even get those items, right? You would need to play, I guess, a lot of champion mode quests to just get a good amount of Celeste points to just reforge to the item for the max stats. But then what's the point of having the gear when you're playing champion mode? Yeah, I don't know, it just feels like a big nonsense, okay? Put together as it is. This feels like nah, not happening. More details about Celeste points will be explained in a future separate blog. Who knows? New capital city feature. View inventory. Okay, we are happy to announce the view inventory feature, which allows players to view other players' inventories by right-clicking their name in the in-game chat, letting them spend their Celeste points to take items from their inventory. See the graphic below for more details. There you see view inventory, you have the inventory, you see the mag, here's the price, 50 Celeste points. And you just steal the item from other players. There's a note here. Note that this only works for items that can be traded. Untradeable items cannot be collected using the view inventory feature. And I haven't seen the changing the untradeable to tradable, so that's not here. We're also working on the next Indian developer blog and expect to release it by next weekend. Okay, what do I think about this one? Number one, it's not happening, obviously. And why do I think so? Well, think about it. If we can see other players' inventories, that means we could actually also visit their cities, right? And if you don't know, I read it somewhere that visiting other players is disabled because there's a bug. And the bug is that when you visit other players, it somehow messes up with the files of the cities. So, yeah, players would probably find something else in their home city than they would see before they left. Yeah, so that's why it's disabled. And yeah, that's just visiting other cities. That's just read the file, load the city, right? And you're not doing anything here. You're literally messing with the file of the player's inventory, and that already is telling me, yeah, not happening. If we cannot have visit others players cities, definitely we're not adding messing up with the inventory. Would probably be easier to do, but yeah, definitely not happening. Second thing, do you know how mad one player could get because one of their items just disappeared and they got nothing out of it? It doesn't tell anywhere, and someone said that the player won't get anything. Imagine you just get nothing out of it and you lose item. Definitely not happening. Okay, they will just make players angry because they would know that their items could just disappear out of the inventory just like that. They would get nothing out of it. Nah, they would just rage quit and never return to the game. Okay, definitely not happening this one. Okay, we're at the end of the blog, and like you might have noticed, I don't really feel like anything of this is happening, right? Maybe except for the advisory units, there might be some possibilities. But I feel like there is something behind this, and you don't have to listen to me here, or like don't really believe what I'm gonna say right now. But I feel like this might be more of a some conspiracy theory behind this. But I feel like this might be just telling there might be some changes to be coming, or some kind of plan that might be happening. And like I said, don't take me seriously here. So what do I think might be happening? There might be some advisor reworks happening, and maybe it's with these three advisors. Some kind of change. I don't know. It could be possible. Like let's say King Field. Since Bjork's got changed into buffing Berserkers, who's gonna really pick Field? Field or whatever you pronounce the name. Who's gonna pick him, right? So maybe there might be some change happening to him in the future. Who knows? I don't know. Why would Esfandia really need a change? Maybe with the bonus edge protection? I don't know. I feel like Esfandia as he is. Yeah, I think only the armor is like, why would I want to pick that? Because the melee crit damage, it's really good. And I also found the ranged upgrade to be also really good. And I don't really see a reason picking the bonus edge protection right now. So I feel like that could be a change for Esfandia, making something different with the bonus edge protection upgrade. Alexander, I don't really. It's not like that he really needs a buff, but it would be something not around Toxotes, but around the Peltas rather. Because Toxotes obviously is the one unit that is being trained more, whereas Peltas, some players are using this meme build on Peltas, but they just put a lot of line of sight on them and use them as a walk-in watch post, and they can get over 100 line of sight, which is so it's a lot, okay? And you just have one unit that keeps walking around and revealing the area. So yeah, there might be some change for the Alexander with Peltast, but don't take it seriously again. It's just some ideas I have that this could be about. Now, advisor units. There might be some advisor units added in the future, maybe. That possibility also exists, but I feel like there might be some change planned for the advisor units that already exist. Maybe there will be another advisor unit. Maybe there could be the legendary version of the advisor that grant you the advisor units. Because we can see it here, right? We have the fifth model here. And there already is one advisor unit that has the legendary model. If you don't know, it actually exists in the game, and that's the Greek Helipolis. It already has the legendary version of itself. I think it might have been used in some old video for the game. I don't know. I feel like I saw it somewhere before. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, maybe there's gonna be some advisor unit change. Who knows? It could be happening. Maybe they will actually make advisor units for Romans, Babylonians, and Norse, but then they would also have to make some for the Indians. Because why would Indians be left out, right? Okay, in-game currency. There is actually, I know this from PF2K stream, there is actually possibility to add one more currency. Whether it would be like this Celeste points, whether it would be just adding another event, like the spring event, so with spring points. There is a possibility to add something like that. Do I feel like they need to add spring event? Nah, not really. I feel like it would be just. I don't want to say it would be really bad, but it would be really tough for the devs because you would have to make like another event where you have to make quests, where you have to design new items. It would be difficult, okay? What I feel like there's been a mention of the endless mode that was supposed to be in the city of Rome, okay? And it's still being worked on, okay? So maybe there might be some currency around the city of Rome, and this could be like there might be the endless mode being added soon enough. Maybe, okay? And maybe it will have its own currency, just like you have in Crete, right? The Crete points. So maybe it will have its own store. Who knows? It's a possibility, okay? It could be that, it could be just spring event. Who knows? Maybe it's nothing, right? Maybe this could happen. I don't know. Possibly there are. And this one, I feel like it's just reference to the visiting other players' cities rather than their inventories. Like, would want to. Do you really want someone to look into your inventory and take your item away from that? Nah, nobody wants that. So definitely, it could be referencing to visiting other players. But like I said, this is just my conspiracy theories behind this. I feel like I'm rather wrong about this, and maybe this is just big April Fool's joke, and there's no real meaning behind this. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe. But yeah, I think this is just big April Fool's joke. But who knows? Okay, only the devs. Okay, that's all from me about this. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Did you like this? Make sure to press that like button. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.